Lo and behold, it's another Quinn Hughes trade video, but this one's a little bit different, my friends. Oh no, we're not talking about trade packages. We're not talking about which specific assets could come back to Vancouver should their captain Quinn Hughes be traded sometime in the next few months. Oh no. We are talking about what former NHL assistant GM Steve Warrier said about a Quinn Hughes trade that I think deserves to be repeated. Now, if you don't know Warrier, he is the former assistant GM of the Florida Panthers. It's a title he held back in 16-17. Obviously, this guy is a lot more qualified to be speaking on hockey than most of us that exist here on the internet reading and reacting to stuff. He literally worked in the sport. And he had a really interesting thought about Quinn Hughes and how much value they could get. Warrier argues that they could actually be getting a lot here. Let's dive into why that is, shall we? So yesterday you had yourselves the Elliot Friedman video posted onto Twitter. This is the segment of Frege on Saturday headlines. We all saw this yesterday during the broadcast of Vancouver and Minnesota. Frege said that the Devils were indeed talking to Vancouver, or they did have at least a phone call talking about Quinn Hughes and the status as to whether or not he could be available. Steve then replies to the video itself saying this: because of the CBA ticking time bomb going off September 15th, the Vancouver Canucks have more leverage here than you might think. Now, what exactly is Steve referring to? CBA, September 15th, NHL contracts changing? What exactly is going on here? Well, let's go out there and just do a quick Google search. The current CBA is in effect through September 15th, 2026. On July 6, 2025, the players ratified a new CBA, as memorialized in a June 27, 2025 memo of understanding, which has a term starting on September 16, 2026, running through September 15, 2030. And essentially, the big thing that you need to know in regards to the new CBA is that, guess what? 8-year contracts for players? It's not going to happen anymore. Right now, Quinn Hughes is signed on a 6-year deal with the Vancouver Canucks, and he'll be eligible for an extension by summer of next year. Once September rolls around, players will not be able to sign 8-year contracts anymore. So Steve is highlighting on his Twitter here that, hey, this actually gives Vancouver a lot more leverage in Quinn Hughes trade talks than you would expect. Let's go out there and read. There's a window through September 15th where players can sign extensions under the old CBA rules. 8 years, unlimited signing bonuses, liberal front-loading of the contracts. After that, teams are capped at 7 years and 6 years for a summer UFA. Signing bonuses are capped at 60% of contract value, and variation is restricted. Quinn's agents know this and are surely pushing for the deal now. If the Vancouver Canucks wait past September 15th, 2026, though, they can still get a huge return for Hughes in a 31-team auction as a 1-year rental, where the buyer gets the edge on an extension by being able to offer him 7 years. But Hughes can only get the 8th year of his contract and the sizable benefit from about $15 million in guaranteed lockout-proof signing bonuses in each of those years if New Jersey or another team does the deal now. And with that, New Jersey would get 1 to 2 more years of Quinn, and they can lower the AAV a bit with a player-friendly 8-year structure contract. So what it comes down to is just a matter of how willing is Vancouver to play chicken, particularly at a moment of externality perceived organizational vulnerability. But if you're Rutherford, Alvin, Castonguay, and co., you're realizing you have some unique leverage here, and you're using it. And speaking about ticking and rentals, if you haven't seen Tick Tick Boom about playwright Jonathan Larson, you should watch it. Andrew Garfield is great. Yeah, no, I was never really a Tick Tick Boom guy. I don't know what it is. I never really got into the whole musical scene for some of these other popular movies. But anyways, this is a really interesting piece of information that Vancouver can use to leverage whatever trade talks exist for Quinn Hughes now. His agents could be using these ideas to further push a trade to go down sooner as well. And the reason I'm making this video, honestly, is because of the sentiment that I've seen a lot of fans all over social media bring up, is that, oh, Quinn Hughes, he all of a sudden, he wants to go out there and play for New Jersey. That's his ultimate goal. He doesn't want to stay with the Vancouver Canucks. His contract expires in 2027, so he's out of there. So because of that, you can debate that Vancouver has no leverage because everybody in the league knows that he doesn't want to stay there. So why would Vancouver tease some sort of a Quinn Hughes trade when they don't really have any bargaining power? Teams know that he doesn't want to stay there. But that's the thing, right? It's not like Vancouver needs to sell Quinn Hughes to the rest of the National Hockey League. It's not like they need to sell other GMs into believing, hey, this guy's worth your time and getting in a trade. Here's why. Everybody knows Quinn Hughes is good, and everybody knows that Quinn will inevitably, at some point, want to play with these other two guys here in New Jersey. But if a team really wants to step up and try to make some sort of a thing work, they really want to get one more player down under the current CBA rules until they're abolished next year in September, if they want to get the opportunity of adding a franchise-altering piece within the same circumstances of the current CBA, they might actually have to pay a little bit more to get that opportunity in a trade with the Vancouver Canucks. Sapster went out there and said this, "Thank you, Steve, for pointing it out. Some people fail to understand how important getting Quinn this season is for the Devils, not just to prevent him from falling into the hands of divisional contenders, but because of the CBA. The Canucks have leverage here more than people think." A question is then asked, do you know what the total dollar amount difference would be? I needed to argue with strangers on the internet. If I'm not mistaken, Sap says, assuming that he is on New Jersey to stay, he's scheduled to become a UFA. The difference between him being on New Jersey now and signing as a UFA could cost Hughes 2 years of guaranteed salary. So if he's going to make $17.5 million, it could cost him $35 million. Essentially, the idea is, if Quinn Hughes walks all the way to free agency in 2027 and then signs with New Jersey, the max he could get is 6 years. If Vancouver makes the trade for Quinn Hughes now, and New Jersey waits until the summer to sign him to an extension at that time, they can get him for 8. So there is a lot more time that Quinn can spend as a reasonably paid player in New Jersey. And that's not even discrediting the idea that if Quinn goes to New Jersey now, you have the 25-26 season under contract, and you also have the 26-27 season under contract. If you go to 2026 June, July, August, and then you sign Quinn Hughes to 8 years after that, that contract starts in 2027-2028. So you would have Quinn Hughes for 9 seasons at a pretty reasonable deal. If you walk him to free agency, all you can do is sign him to 6. So teams might really be interested in getting Quinn Hughes down and locked in sooner. And if there is a demand for this guy, which we know there will be, it's Quinn Hughes, that's where other teams can really start to say, hey, wait a minute, New Jersey wants to trade for this guy, so they have a chance to sign him to 8 years and keep him for 9 total years because he's got 26-27 under contract too. We want in on that. We want to grab Quinn Hughes. We want to get his brothers. We want to do other stuff. We want Detroit to come in here and ruin New Jersey's plan. Who knows what happens with the Hughes brothers and where these three end up playing the rest of their NHL careers. I know that's a silly thing to say, considering the fact that Jack and Luke are currently signed to long-term contracts with the Devils. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Quinn could be the first domino. If these guys are all going to inevitably finish their careers in one organization, Quinn could be the guy who decides it all. And the CBA being put into effect next year could be one of the prime factors that pushes a decision to be made quicker. With this in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Vancouver's uncovered leverage with the Quinn Hughes trade sweepstakes? And do you think a team like New Jersey is going to overpay like crazy in order to make this work now? Hischier, Nemec, 2 firsts? Are you adding anything else on top of that? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.